Well, good morning, South Carolina. How do you do? And happy Monday to you. We're back, baby. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. What's happening upstate South Carolina? How are you, America? What up, world? Great to be back with you once again. I am Rob Brown, directly across from me, the professor of perfection, the wizard of ways, the alpha and the omega of the Fan Upstate. He is Colonel Grudge, hashtag Dad Kicks, the great one, Lonzo at the helm. What up, Zoe? Happy Monday, buddy.
On a dismal day such as today, allow Rob and I to be your sunshine.
I'm good with that. I do have to tell you what I was told. So Friday night, was the first ever home match of the Greenville Liberty, the new USLW League team, women's professional soccer, right here in the upstate. And early last week, the folks at the Liberty/Triumph called and said, Rob Brown, do you want to do our play-by-play for the first home match on Friday? We need a play-by-play guy. Are you interested? I was like, yeah, dude, of course, be happy to. So I show up and I do the game. Had a great time doing it. Showed up, rolled solo, so no color guy. It was just me. Never done soccer before. And decided, I'm not going to do what a lot of guys do, which is they just try to imitate the way that other guys do it. So I'm just going to do it the way I'm going to do it. A lot of energy, all gas. Full send for the whole time. So we get done with the game, and the guys at the Triumph were like, "Man, it was good. We liked it. We appreciate it. Love to have you back." I'm like, yeah, sure. Yesterday, I go play golf with a couple of buddies from the soccer fan community, and Doug Irwin, who we've had on the show many times, the CBO of the Triumph. We all go play golf together. And we're halfway through the match, and my buddy Doug walks over and he goes, did you get any feedback? Have you gotten a chance to go watch the broadcast? Did you get any feedback from anybody about how you did? And I said, yeah, I mean, I had a couple of people say they really enjoyed it. This may shock you, but it did not shock me in the least. Some people, Lonzo, said I was too loud for a soccer match.
Well,
stunning.
Keegan tweeted some highlights. I don't know where he got them from. So I watched a good portion of that because I think even though I'm not a big soccer guy, I understand the importance of the announcement of a goal. And I wanted to hear how Rob announced a goal, which there's appeared to be many in that game, or at least two that I saw. There was 6.
They scored 6 goals.
I should have watched all the way through to see if you had the same intensity on the 6 that you did on the first.
Everyone.
Okay. So I gotta say your goal call was good. It was really good.
Lean into it a little bit. So I got some relatively good feedback. And we get to the end of the golf match. And Doug says, man, did you get any feedback? What did people say? How do they feel? Was it good? And I said, we're just a couple of people too loud. And Joe says, yeah, my wife, who, by the way, I've met his wife. She's an absolute sweetheart of a young lady. Says, my wife said, Rob's really energetic, but I don't know that I could take 90 minutes of him at a time. And I got to tell you, my reaction was, that's fair. That's probably fair. That's fair. Because, most soccer guys, with soccer, there's a lot of buildup. And so a lot of guys are there will be long stretches where the guy calling the match, though, will just say the name of the person who has possession of the ball, right? Smith, Pulisic,
You also get
Pulisic ahead to McKinney.
you get those British guys that are really soft spoken.
Yeah.
They sound very, very aristocratic. I don't know the proper words to it. Something like they're reading a story to children or something until it gets close to the goal.
Yeah, it's almost poetic to
Yeah,
some degree,
there
right?
you go.
McKinney, Dest, Pulisic, back to Dest, push ahead into the attacking third, McKinney. And that's just the pace until the ball gets down into the box and then the energy picks up.
All right, Keegan has it for you, what you need to do. And that's, that's kind of along the lines of what I was just talking about. I think that works.
Switch from NPR voice to MMA voice. Yeah, it's pretty much it, right? But again, I wasn't even going full MMA voice when they'd be moving the ball around the right side. To me, I still want to tell you what's going on. I still want to tell you my observance of the game. And I think that's the problem a lot of people had with it, Lonzo, was that in what I do for a living every day, my job is to observe the game, right? My job is to observe the game, to break down the game, and then to tell you what I see within the game. Whereas with play-by-play, it's not so much about the opinion as factually what is happening on the pitch, what's happening on the field, right? So it would be the pass forward. Here's Bornkamp moving up the right-hand side. She's going to send it ahead to Jones. Jones pushes up the right-hand side, trying to set up the cross. She's got attackers. There's the cross into the box, right? But when I was rolling solo, I was trying to tell people what was going on. But obviously, I got very excited. And on top of that, it's easy to get excited, Lonzo, when your team puts 6 into the back of the net. That does not happen very often.
Plus, it's a first home game, right?
Yep.
And your very first time calling, soccer.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's going to be some excitement to it. I can tell what kind of day it's going to be when I walk into the office every morning. If Rob goes, "Hey, Lonzo," it's like, okay, it's not going to be a high energy. It's not going to be one of those days. I'm not going to have my hand on the fader the entire day.
Yeah.
As opposed to,
what up, Zoe?
Head turning really quick and saying that. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
The traditional open of the day is, what up, Zoe? And that's, again, I wanted that. I wanted that injury, right? Or that intensity. I wanted that intensity. I wanted I wanted that energy out there. Because here's what I wanted. I know that there were going to be some folks, because I talked about it all week. Hey, I'm on the call this week for the Liberty. Please tune in. Here's the website. Here's the time. I knew there were going to be a handful of folks, a dozen folks that were going to tune in, and it was going to be either their first soccer match, period, or certainly their first women's soccer match. I want the Liberty to do well. Every time we circle around and we say, oh, yeah, professional sports in Greenville, we say Drive, Swamp Rabbits, Triumph, right? I want the Liberty on that list. And I want it to be justified and added to that list because they're performing and they're winning and they're getting attention and they're getting noticed. So knowing that there were going to be 6 or 7 folks out there, and I know of at least 2 families who were like, Rob, we cannot make it to the game. We wish we could, but we're glad it's going to be online. Can we watch it somewhere? And I said, yeah, here's the link. I knew they were going to tune in. I wanted them to feel like they were tuning in and seeing something special. And that, in fairness, the Liberty did not need my help, right? 6 goals. 6 goals. They did not need my help to spark the energy a little bit. But I was going to do my daggumdest, as Bobby Bowden would say, to make that happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, aside from that, we had a spectacular weekend in sports. And Lonzo last week, when I said Warriors in 5 at worst, maybe a sweep, Lonzo was this close to dropping I will make a bet with you on the air. This close. Then he had flashbacks to a prom dress that he had to rock, courtesy of Steph and the Warriors, and he pumped the brakes. And Lonzo, it looks like it might have been a good thing you did. 3-0 in the hole now are the Big D, and I do mean Dallas.
You know what? The sad part is you see a team that is so close. They are so close,
Yep.
and they shouldn't be doing as well as they are. Even though they're losing, they shouldn't be playing as well as they are. And Dallas is doing that, but it's obvious that Golden State's a better team. And it probably will be a sweep. I mean, your best shot is your first game back home, and that's what it was. And they gave them everything they had and just didn't have enough.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. I mean, there's no need to go into a deeper analysis of that game because Lonzo just nailed it. Dallas had the biggest bullet in the chamber they could line up, which was a return to Dallas down 0-2. Luka got the hell beat out of him in game number 2. So let's go out there and fire it back. Let's get back into this thing. Let's focus on game 3, win game 3. We'll figure out game 4 when it's time. They came out with the best effort they've had so far, and it still was not enough. I said last week, I'm going to say again now. This is not necessarily true of Boston, Miami. It is 100% true of Golden State and Dallas. I like Dallas. They are a piece, maybe 2 away. They are close to being a very good team built around Luka Doncic, but they are just not in the same gym as the Warriors right now. And that's not a shot because most teams are not in the same gym with the Warriors. And with the emergence of Andrew Wiggins, with the emergence of Jordan Poole, the Warriors might be the deepest team in the NBA. If they make the NBA Finals this year, which it looks like they will, Lonzo, the Golden State Warriors will have gone to 6 of the last 8 NBA Finals. 6 of the last 8. That's a good basketball program. It's a good franchise. It's a good team. And, by the way, with the exception of what? Kevin Durant? It's been pretty much the same makeup the whole time. You've had a couple of bench players that have rotated in and out like Wiggins and Jordan Poole making their emergence known. But it's a damn good franchise. It is a well-put-together franchise in Golden State. Again, this is not a shot at the Mavericks, and I hope that the Mavs don't get dispirited by this. I hope that the Mavericks don't get demoralized by this. I hope that they go sit in the locker room and go, okay, what piece or pieces were we missing? I think Mark Cuban, if there's an owner in the league that's willing to spend the money to round out the roster, it's Mark Cuban. But this Warriors team is an absolute buzzsaw right now. And I got to tell you, I don't care who comes out of the East. Neither Boston or Miami has beaten Golden State either. They are your NBA champions, and I will take a bet on that one right now.
All right, Tayshawn's asking, what about the poster? And I think he is talking about the slam dunk on Luka. Yeah. The thing is, why? Yes, it was a good dunk, but people are taking so much pleasure because it was on Luka. Why is that? Why are people so afraid of that guy? No, there's some people. Don't act like it. There's some people out there who absolutely hate him for no reason, and that's fine. And when you see the next up and coming guy, and you know that guy's probably going to dethrone one of your guy, I could see why you'd be a little bit afraid of it.
Okay, couple things. Number one, every NBA player has haters. You could have the best person of all time playing NBA basketball, right? If there was an NBA version of Tom Hanks, the one guy that everybody loves, if there was an NBA version of Tom Hanks and that guy got dunked on by Andrew Wiggins, it would still be a thing. Because at the end of the day, it is not about who gets posterized. It's about the poster. And that Wiggins dunk was the illustration of a poster. I mean, it was unbelievably perfect.
I know being posterized has become a saying. Is it still a thing? Do they still make NBA posters about that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, you can get them.
You mean it's not like an NFT or something like that?
I mean, that dunk will be an NFT at some point. But look, it's not about who was on the receiving end. That could have been Luka. That could have been Steph. That could have been LeBron. You could have put any dude you want underneath the rack. When Wiggins pulled back and tomahawked over him, it was not about the guy who was posterized. It was about the posterization process, and that was a 100% posterization.
Should have been an offensive foul because he took his arm underneath and he shoved him off, and you're not supposed to do that.
Remember, under the rack in the restricted area, there's a little more free play. You can be a little more physical on offense when you're inside of that restricted area down low. There's the defender loses some of his rights when you're right underneath the basket.
Does LeBron get that call? Does one of the bigger names get that call?
Ain't a player that's getting that call in the league.
I'm just,
in my opinion, there ain't a player in the league that is going to draw the offensive foul on that dunk. Not LeBron's not getting it. Steph's not getting it. KD's not getting it. There ain't a player in the league because what has happened there. If I may switch out of sports dude mode and go into basketball guy mode. When you see a dude has a lane and a drive like Andrew Wiggins had, and when you decide that you are going to slide over and stand directly between him and the basket, that is now a one-on-one challenge is what that is. And it's a duel. You have called this man out for a duel. I see you coming, and I know what you're doing. You see me standing here. You know what I'm doing. It's a one-on-one duel, and the refs are going to go, it's a fair challenge. Whatever happens, happens, and they're going to get out the way.
All right.
If Luka gets a mitt on that ball and swats it up into row F and takes Wiggins' head with it, they're not going to call it a defensive foul. And if Andrew Wiggins gets the hands out and Undertaker choke slams Luka on the way down, they ain't going to call that either. Because by standing between that man and the basket and rising up with him, you have challenged him to a duel, and Luka lost that one.
Along those lines of how you put that out there, you have actually played organized basketball.
Sure.
And I never have. I've only, played neighborhood ball where there was a lot of fouling and punching and things involved. So my question for you is, when you're the guy about to be posterized, don't
get out the way, dude.
How about grabbing some jersey
Get
or
out
something?
the way.
It doesn't.
Well, then
will you take a flagrant one to stop yourself from being posterized?
It ain't so much that. Listen, here's where it comes down. If you see a dude driving like Wiggins was driving, with the momentum he had, and with that, because you know that look. When a dude knows that he can do what Andrew Wiggins did and he gets it, you know that look and you know what's coming. You got two options. Number one, you can do what Luka did. You can challenge him to that duel. I'm going to go up. I'm going to meet you up there. Either I'm going to block you up into row F, or you are going to put me on the front of Sports Center. Or your other option is get the hell out of the way. That's it. Now, you can Draymond Green a dude.
I was going to say, there's a third option, and that's the option I'm talking about.
Right, but most dudes aren't going to do that for a couple reasons.
Is it a matter of honor or a matter of money?
Yes. Number one, well, no, I think the first reason is you do what Draymond did in that Memphis series and you grab a fistful of jersey and just yank a guy down. You talk about injuring him, you talk about ending the season, right? If Luka goes up, and this is not Luka, but if Luka goes up and decides to grab a handful of Wiggins' jersey, rip him to the floor, Wiggins comes down and breaks his wrist, and he's out for the rest of the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals, you have ruined Andrew Wiggins' career so that you don't get dunked on. There are a few Bill Lambiers of the world that don't care about you or your existence at all. Draymond is one of them, but Luke ain't that guy. The other option is, like I said, just get out of the way. Let the guy dunk. He's already on the way. You got like a 15% chance of putting your hand in the right place to catch ball and swat him. So no, man. Just get out of the way. Let him throw down. Let him get, hey, that 2 points counts exactly the same as the 2 points if he rised up and hit a J from the free throw line, right? Hey, you get some momentum, you get some style points. Give my man his shot. Give my man his 2 points. But, no, when a guy rises up like that, if you go up with him in that restricted zone, most refs are going to view that as a one-on-one duel. And whatever happens in the sky stays in the sky. Wiggins won that one and put Luka on a poster. Now, it's a different story, Zoe. It's a much different story if at that point the Mavs are up 2-0 in the series and 100-80 in the game, right? We're like, all right, I mean, like, good poster, but you're down 20, dude. You're down 20. Luka was fighting for his team because he was down 2-0 and was on the verge of going down 3-0. But that's the risk you take. Luka took the risk. Luka got put on a poster, and Andrew Wiggins added one to the highlight reel. Welcome to the NBA, young man. The Warriors are really good. Like, really good. Let's take a break. We'll talk more about this later on in the hour. I got plenty more to talk about, including your Stanley Cup date, including 2 events that took place this weekend that I didn't talk about, despite the fact that I love these 2 sports, that you guys didn't talk about, despite the number of callers that have told me that y'all love these sports. I want to ask the question why. All that and more coming up later on in the hour. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
I nearly forgot what I have to do this evening. I'm pointing to the voice on the air.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I offered to do it.
I know. I'll do it. I'm not scared. How bad could it be?
From the 106.3 WORD Weather Center, here's the Upstate's most trusted forecast on the Fan Upstate.
He doesn't know, though.
Possibly a thunderstorm as well.
Oh, he doesn't. You're just going to show up. Hi.
Chance for storms on Tuesday, low 70s. I'm meteorologist Michael Kerr on the Fan.
Might as well have some fun with it.
Hey, it's Rob Brown. Listen, there are some people in the industry that are going to tell you selling a home today is a hassle. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not a hassle. It is an opportunity, and that is because home values in most areas have appreciated significantly, and buyer interest is still incredibly strong. With Allen Tate, they will help you get your home ready to sell. They will help you price it right and market it to qualified buyers so you can sell it quickly for maximum value. And isn't that what you want to sell it for as much as you can? Yeah, obviously. And in today's real estate market, there is no need to discount the value of your most important investment. Choose your best offer when you work with the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas, Allen Tate.
Excited. I got my tickets for Thursday night
What's Thursday night?
in IMAX. Maverick.
Top Gun. Yeah.
See if I get dizzy. May just have to close my eyes at some point.
You can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope, we use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios,
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
but you still sell investments that generate
You know what, Keegan? I forgot it was out. Then I saw you tweet something or something on Facebook. So we watched it yesterday, and yeah, there's it requires probably a couple rewatches
Yeah.
and pausing to see all the references.
Yeah.
I mean, we caught a bunch of them because there's a lot of stuff going on in the background.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
including the movie that we all need to see. We all want to see, but I'm not going to spoil Rob.
Out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. At Ingalls, we know that fresh means local. The best ingredients don't come from the world away.
It is very reminiscent of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but with today's technology and
Providing the freshest items you'll find anywhere. Getting our foods from the farms we support, to the stores we love, to the tables we treasure. Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
Sure, I can tell you all about why you should buy a pool from Aqua Blue Pools. There are lots of reasons, like they've been in business satisfying customers since 1970.
although I gotta say, at one point I was worried about a Disney death. It's like, no, don't do this, Disney. You got to kill something off to make it. No, you don't.
And the very best way to get one is from Aqua Blue Pools. Go to aquabluepools.com.
Tired of companies like Google and Facebook watching everything you do online? There's actually a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more. All for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with the push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Always streaming wherever you are on the Odyssey app.
Texture said, Rob, I missed the Liberty game and wanted to tune in. What was the final score? 6-1. That is not a verbal typo, ladies and gentlemen. 6-1. Your final score, your Greenville Liberty get their first win at home. Bravo to the ladies.
You know,
We're getting
Trey
it done.
Trey pointed out in the stream, and I had forgotten about what the coach had said, the kind of win she likes. And that's the kind of win she likes. Who wouldn't like that kind of win?
Oh, yeah. We had Coach Carlson on last, Thursday to talk a little bit about the first home match. And I said, Coach, you got 4 goals, a 4-2 win over Charlotte Independence in your opener. Is that kind of what you're looking for? Or was that something that we're going to look back and go with a special win to net 4? And she goes, hey, it's soccer. You never know. But I would much prefer to score 4 goals a game. Lonzo, they scored 4 goals in the first half of the last match on Friday night. Netted 4 in the first half, including 2 in stoppage time. You know, the clock gets 45 and the ref goes, we're going to add X amount of time and blah, 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 blah. A lot of people get mad at it, whatever. I don't care. It makes sense. 2 of those in stoppage time, including 1. Not even kidding. One of them in stoppage time that better have made ESPN's top 10 Friday night because it was one of the most unbelievable soccer goals I've ever seen. Braithwaite hit it from about 8 yards outside the box, crossed it, though, all the way across in front of the keeper to go upper left 90 in a shot that could not have been in a better position if you let her walk it up there and put it up with her hand. Unbelievable shot. I said on the air, ladies and gentlemen, you could have had men's national keeper Matt Turner in goal, and that ball's not getting stopped. That was as good of a soccer goal as you will see, men's or women's, period. It was a phenomenal shot. And if you want to see that and hear the call, you can go to 11sports.com. That is the word 11, ELEVEN sport.com. And the game is actually archived up there. You can pull it, watch the game if you missed the match, and hear the seductive stylings of Rob Brown calling his first soccer match. It was, Lonzo, adequate.
I will disagree with one thing that you said. Stoppage time does not make sense. And there's some guy going, let's give him 7 minutes and 45 seconds. That sounds good.
He doesn't just guess, dude. He literally has a clock on the side, and when somebody goes down or gets hurt, he stops it. And then based on what that clock says at the end, they're like, okay, we'll add this much time to it.
I think we pointed out that I'm not a soccer fan, but I will say that I just don't. I'm not so sure that's on the up and up. I'm not. I think dude may look away for a second and go, maybe let's just throw another 2 minutes on there. Why not? Why not?
What the heck?
You know,
Sure.
no one's checking me on
Everybody's having a great time. Let's do 5 more.
this. This is real power. 3 minutes
The
and
fourth
42
referee
seconds.
is like me with the snooze button in the morning. He's like, 5 more sounds good, right? 10, why not? All right. So this weekend, I kind of take pride in this show that we talk about everything, right? Like we talk about anything. There's nothing that's off the table on this show. We talk about soccer. We talk about football. We talk about baseball. We talk about basketball. We talk about NASCAR. We talk about golf. We talk about hockey. The only sport I don't talk about is lacrosse, and that's because, A, I don't know anything about lacrosse and have very little interest in learning, and B, none of you do either, all right? None of you do. Anyway, we talk about a little bit of anything and everything. In fact, I said last week, you can tell, Zoe, the sports talk radio shows that don't know how to talk about a certain sport, right? Because all they do is bag that sport. Oh, baseball's numbers are dying. Why? No, they're not. But it's an easy story to bring up if you can't talk baseball, right? Last week, we had 2 massive events in 2 sports that I really enjoy talking about. Lonzo, did you know that NASCAR's All-Star race was this weekend?
Yeah, I saw some people complaining about how they came up with who's an all-star. So that's the only reason why I know.
But you didn't, you knew about it. When did you hear that? Over the weekend?
Probably like Friday or something.
Yeah. It got to be about Friday, and I consider myself a NASCAR fan. Now, I will acknowledge that I am not the most hardcore NASCAR fan. That's not even true. I really am a big NASCAR fan. But you have to recognize that for this show, I have X amount of hours in a week to watch sports and be able to come on the air. And we have the NHL playoffs. We have the NBA playoffs. We have Major League Baseball, which I host the nationally syndicated show on Saturdays from 1 to 5 called Bet for the Cycle on the BetQL network. So I got to watch plenty of baseball to be ready for that. I have limited time to watch sports, unfortunately. And while I do love NASCAR, basically I can dedicate a couple of hours on race day, and that's really it, right? Now, 3 weeks from now, when the NBA Finals are playing once every 3 days, when we get to the conference finals of Lord Stanley's Cup and the games are more spread out, I'll have a little more time to pick up on some NASCAR, whatever. But I realized Friday, I had not heard a single person talking about NASCAR's All-Star race. Why? And I was very curious about that. And I came up with a few conclusions. Number one, it's irrelevant, right? It's largely irrelevant. It doesn't really have a huge impact on the season. Basically, those guys are racing for a fat paycheck and not much else, right? It doesn't impact the points. It doesn't impact the final standings. These guys are effectively racing for a paycheck, which is super nice for them, but it doesn't impact us at all, right? If regardless of who wins that NASCAR All-Star race, they get a check for $1 million. How does it impact me? A Rob Brown NASCAR fan, how does it impact me? It doesn't.
You make it sound like, why would you even want to do that? It's
oh no, if I'm them,
it's a
I
lot.
absolutely
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So
If I'm then, in fact, it may even be good racing, right? It may even be good racing because they're racing for a flat check of $1 million or whatever. I don't know what the actual prize is, but they're racing for a flat check of $1 million. That's pretty good. Don't hate that for you. But I'm sitting there yesterday afternoon, and I get done golfing. I get back to the house. Now, and for the record, while we're out there golfing, the Braves and Marlins are playing. I've got that on my phone. I've got my watch set to ding anytime there's an NHL goal or a home run in baseball or whatever's going on in the world. I've got my phone to give me scores, whatever. I get home, I'm finished golfing, I'm sitting on the couch with the lady friend. I'm watching White Sox Yankees last night because I'm waiting to see if Tim Anderson and Josh Donaldson are going to get into a fist fight. Talk about that story in the next hour. And across the bottom of the little ticker comes NASCAR All-Star Race results. Ryan Blaney wins NASCAR All-Star Race Open, or whatever they called it. And I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah, dang, that's tonight. I forgot that was today. Dude, it is my job to not forget that things like that are today. And I forgot it was today. Yesterday, but today. You get what I'm saying? By the way, it is $1 million. Blaney fended off Denny Hamlin and Austin Cindric to win the $1 million. There's no points attached to this race. There's no season ramifications to this race. Nothing changes about this race at all. That's why nobody talks about it, right? We talk about things that impact us as fans. NASCAR races where there are points in play change the season, impact our driver's ability to win a title. Next Sunday, the boys are racing up in Charlotte on Sunday, Coca-Cola 600. I will be there. Can't wait. Why am I willing to drive 2.5 hours to Charlotte Motor Speedway to watch 600 miles of NASCAR racing, the longest race on the circuit, a race that's going to take 4 to 4.5 hours, and then drive back afterwards? Why? Because that race has a lot to do with the season and how it shapes up, right? I am willing to drive 2.5 hours to Charlotte. I was not willing to cancel a round of golf and stay home to watch the All-Star race. Didn't impact me. Didn't matter. This is the same big problem that golf has. Golf had its PGA championship this weekend. It's the 4th major. It's one of the 4 biggest tournaments of the year. And it got talked about, Lonzo. Tiger Woods.
Because Tiger had to withdraw.
Yep. And by the way, yesterday came down to a remarkable finish in the PGA Championship. You had a guy carry a lead on an 18 and then double bogey his way out of a playoff to win it. Will Zalatoris, who popped up on the scene looking like the caddy from Happy Gilmore at the Masters 2 years ago, has not found a win since then, off the top of my head that I remember. I could be wrong. Gets into a playoff with Justin Thomas, and Thomas beats him in a 3-hole playoff. Spectacular finish of that golf tournament. Nobody talked about it. Why? Because golf made the mistake I've been telling golf not to do for years. If you want golf to get there, and I do, if you want golf to get there, you need to create a reason why people like me can attach themselves to golfers. And there's a few I have. Dustin, I'm a big DJ guy now. Do you know why I'm a big DJ guy? Because Dustin Johnson is a party animal who segued into golf. DJ's a guy that at the Ryder Cup, when the Americans went out there and smoked the Europeans, DJ got asked, can you still outdrink the young man on this team? And DJ, in one of the GOAT press conference answers of all time, said, oh, bleep, yeah. Give me reasons to attach myself to guys. We all attached ourselves to Tiger in his prime because we all wanted to pretend like we could see a little of ourselves in Tiger, right? Because Tiger was the lump of moldable clay. If you saw Tiger as the elite winner who was not fazed by anything, that was the Tiger you got. If you saw Tiger as the playboy with the $1 million smile, that was the Tiger you got. If you saw Tiger as the marketing genius, that was the Tiger. We all saw ourselves to some degree in Tiger. Who's that on the tour now? Is that on the tour now? Is there a guy that stands out with you? There is one for Lonzo that I know of. Our man with the mullet, who is it? Cameron Smith. The man with the mullet is Lonzo's guy because he's got great hair. And that was before, who was it that had long
Fleetwood.
hair?
Fleetwood.
Yeah, before Tommy Fleetwood
cut his
hacked
hair.
off his locks. It upset Lonzo, right? But Lonzo had a reason to connect to a guy. They had the same hair. I connect with DJ because DJ's a party animal that also likes some golf. That's me. My man Zach checks in. He says, John Daly. You damn right. JD got asked, how is it that you're out there? They go, shouldn't you be taking care of yourself? And JD goes, I'd like to hit the gym more, but they don't let me smoke in there. But that's why I drink Miller Lights, because it has the fewest calories of any beer, and I'm trying to take care of myself. I feel you, JD. I feel you, my guy. Right? I connect with guys like that, but they also have to compete. By the way, Saturday tuned into the PGA Championship because John Daly was inside the top 5 to end Friday. Yes, Santa, JD. Golf has not gone out of its way to create golfers with personality and uniqueness that we can connect to and attach ourselves to that make us want to pull for and watch them. And so when LT Gray dropped out of the PGA Championship this weekend, that was the only story. Fix it golf or have more weekends like this where one of your biggest 4 tournaments of the year goes untalked about by guys like me, who, by the way, are a golf fan. I promise you I can talk better golf than probably anybody that's been on this station before or is now. All right? It's not a shot. I'm just a golf guy. I had zero reason to talk about the PGA Championship last week in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You put it on a course nobody knows, in a place nobody cares about, and you've given us nothing to build up golfers the last couple of years. Only the hardcore stay around. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate.
I'm Jason Marks with your sports flash on the Fan Upstate. Major League Baseball, a late rally in the ninth comes up short for the Atlanta Braves as they fall 4-3 Sunday to the Miami Marlins. The Braves are at home the next 7 games as they begin a 4-game series tonight against Philadelphia. Tucker Davidson will take the mound tonight for Atlanta against Zach Wheeler. In the NBA playoffs, tonight is Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Boston as the Celtics look to even the series at 2 with the Miami Heat. The Golden State Warriors are 1 win away from returning to the finals for the first time since 2019 as they win Game 3 Sunday night over the Dallas Mavericks 109-100. Ryan Blaney is your winner of the NASCAR All-Star Race Sunday night in Texas, followed by Denny Hamlin, Austin Cindric, Joey Logano.
Take Sean, play-by-play still up at 11sports.com. The word, not the letter. But you can check it out there, man. It was a lot of fun. Travis, good morning, buddy. Welcome in. Good to have you, fella. Appreciate you coming by, my guy. King said, I don't understand All-Star race. They all race individual anyway. Do they have any skill competitions? Like, what's the cool factor? Yeah, that's, it's so the cool factor is that it's a small field, right? Like, it's only race winners or a couple of guys that can get voted in. So it's supposed to be the best of the best, but, I don't know that it feels that way. Zach said it's like being employee of the month and you're the only employee.
Really?
Attaboy.
Easiest shot ever. The way that thing's positioned, although it is slightly to the right. That's the same thing happened the first time.
Wow.
It may also have something to do with it being a bag. It's affecting the physics of the shot. Adjustments were made. By the way, neither one of those that I missed were bricks. They were in and
They're
out.
both in and out. So I've read this text that came into Tara's show about 10 times. And I don't want to read it to you, Lonzo, but I do want to read it to the people on the internet. The text says, my wax appointment was canceled this morning due to a shortage of wax product. No Brazilian husband will be disappointed, LOL. That's it. Just wanted to read that word, those words in that sentence out loud. That's all. I also want to go back and listen to see if she reads that text on the air.
She probably did.
Does she?
Yeah.
What's her reaction to that? Does she laugh at that?
Yes.
Really? Good for her.
See, your perception.
Sorry, look who's back. Terrible Parker number 1 is back, ladies and gentlemen, and sitting on the white line. That's not their worst parking job, but I do want to fist fight them still.
Are they leaving or arriving? Because I want to see the old lady get out of the car that you want to fist fight. Getting out with a walker. And yeah, I know. You said, well, she shouldn't be driving. You're right. She probably shouldn't be, but she is. Maybe if once the therapy goes better, they'll be able to park better. You know, it's just, they're just sitting there. Unless they left their lights on, which it could have. I can't tell if there's, oh, no, we're backing out. All right, we're going to get to see who it is.
I think it's just like a middle-aged woman.
It depends on what you consider middle age, but I would say probably 30s to 40s. Where actually, she parked over there. She's trying to park in between cars now.
Oh, God. Good luck to those cars.
Yeah. She's struggling a little bit. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She's like, yep, I'm out. I can't do it.
Tracy said I'm going to park on a white line somewhere on Woodruff. Listen,
do it. Make sure you send a picture to Rob at his email.
I'm not confront anybody, but I will call you bad names from indifference.
She must have been worried about the rain. Here she's coming back out. She's going back over. Let's see what she does. Going back to the original spot. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Well done.
Hey, she's between the... She can
well
do it.
Well done.
She can do it.
Oh, she shakes a fist at the window when she gets out.
Oh, no. She's like a young, attractive, normal woman.
You can't see her face. You cannot see her face. You see all the other features.
The saga of the terrible next door Parker continues. Okay. Let me tell you what happened during the break. There has been, for those of you that have been listening to the show predominantly in this hour, okay? There is a car that daily, Lonzo, I don't think it's unfair to say daily, the majority of days, the overwhelming majority of days.
Quite a few days, yes.
If it's not daily, it's close.
I really think that there's someone that goes to a place that's only open on certain days.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So there's a car that close to daily parks on the other side of the parking lot between us and the building next door. And on the reg, this car is parked with at least one, if not more, tires, not on the white line, but in the parking spot next to the parking spot that they are in. I have complained about this, Parker, routinely, because if you are not skilled enough to park your car between the lines, then you don't need to be driving. I'm sorry about how difficult that makes your life. But if you don't have the talent needed to go, well, there's one line and there's one, let's put the car in the middle of it, then you're not good enough to drive. Go practice. Every day, this woman shows up and parks with half her car over the line. It's embarrassing. So today, I look over at Lonzo and I go, look, Terrible Parker is back. And then Terrible Parker had an idea. Instead of parking over here, because usually on the row that she parks in, there's usually no cars there, right? Predominantly because the line for the drive-through restaurant wraps around, and if you park in that row when the restaurant gets busy and the drive-through line backs up, you're stuck, right? Because the line can't move because they'd have to back out onto Garlington to make it happen, and they can't. So you're basically stuck there until the restaurant gets some cars cleared out. So she decides, let me back out, and I'm just going to go park in front of the business on Garlington Road. I'm going to go park over there. She backs out. She drives around the restaurant, and she, for the first time that I can remember since we've begun watching this person like the creeps that we are through the window up here, she goes to try to park between two cars in a regular parking spot in front of the business. And what happened, Lonzo?
She had second thoughts that either in her ability or she didn't want anyone dinging her car. Who knows? But she changed her mind.
She couldn't do it. She could not get her car parked between two cars in a regular parking spot. So she left that spot. She drove to the front. She tried a minimum of 3 times to get her car in a parking spot. Not parallel park, not 4, 5, 6 point turn park. Just park. Just pull into a parking spot between two cars. Tried 3 times, at least that I saw. 3 times, could not get it. Drove all the way around the building and went back to the original spot that she's parked in now. And here's the kicker, Lonzo. She actually parked good this time.
She did. She did a good job this time.
She parked well this time. She actually, but she's between the line. Granted, the car's completely cockeyed in the spot, but she's in the lines. I'm not going to complain that she's.
I don't know.
Straight.
I think that's a pretty good angle to be able to get out of your car in case someone parks next to you. It's not like she's completely gangsted inside of it. It's good. It's good. It's the best parking that we've seen her do ever.
It's still not great. I mean,
congrats to her.
I mean, it would be good enough to to pass the driving test, I guess. But the fact that she was parked bad, could not park between two cars with 3 attempts, and then came back over here to avoid that controversy. Spectacular job. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, there was a dust-up, a both full teams brawl between the White Sox and the Yankees last week that played out over the weekend due to the comments of one player to another. We're going to address those when we come back on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Now you can buy the used car you want with a fixed, low-rate loan from Lightstream.
The loan process was so easy. I signed all the documents and completed the process while getting my hair done.
I had my money the same day with Lightstream. Having that cash helped me get a much better deal. And the Lightstream payments are so affordable.
Now you can get the money you need, fast, for the used car you love with Lightstream. Loans start at just 3.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit when you buy from the dealership. Apply today at lightstream.com/rate and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/RATE for your extra discount. Lightstream.com/rate.
Subject to credit approval, rates range from 3.99% APR to 9.49% APR and include a 0.5% auto-pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/rate for more
All right, Tracy. So I'm older. So back in my day, a gangsta is parking it sideways in the spot or outside the spot. At least that's what it was in Ohio. You know, may not be that way anywhere else.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
And the other thing, Darth and Keegan, is Rob could be in here, you know, in this room an hour earlier before we actually go on the air. So maybe he meant that. I'm not here to defend every, you know, but, you know, just possibility. Just putting it out there.
Same great show, new time. Now at 9 to noon, only on the Fan, Upstate.
Want to quickly become Dad's favorite? Get him what he really wants for Father's Day. The Upstate Golf Cart. 18 holes at 10 of the best courses in the Upstate. The Preserve at Verde, Willow Creek, Legacy Pines, Club at Brookstone, The Rock, Carolina Springs, just to name a few. And best of all, now through Father's Day, the Upstate Golf Cart is on sale for just $75. Yep, $75 for the
By the way, if you do park crooked, send him pictures. He doesn't want those pictures, so send them to him.
I'm assuming you're talking about feet.
No, actually, I wasn't talking about feet. I was talking about the parking crooked. But you want to send him pictures about feet, you could do that too. Yes. The only way that could have been better is if that lady was driving barefoot. And I was going to point out, it's not creepy us looking out the window. We're looking out the window. If you're doing something outside the window, it's not like we're being voyeurs or something, although I guess kind of. We're looking out the window. So if you come in the parking lot, you're doing something in the parking lot, it's our right to look out the window and see you doing it.
What, is somebody angry at us for creeping on people?
No, you mentioned earlier that was kind of creepy,
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not.
creepy to
It's
be staring at this woman.
it's
but at
not
the same
creepy.
time-
We're looking out the window. You know, if I'm looking outside to see if it's raining yet and something catches my eye and I'm like, okay, what's going on there? I'm being observant. I'm not being creepy. Now, if we're scrambling to come in here every day at a certain time because we know someone arrives just to watch that person, that's creepy.
The phone line is open. 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FANFONE. The Preferred Home Services text line is open at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. And we will read them on the air for sure. Bring me what you got. Let's have some fun. And then let's immediately ruin that fun by getting into this discussion, ladies and gentlemen. The White Sox, you got to get the right socks. You don't want to wear your red socks when you're talking about a time for White Sox and vice versa.
And you definitely don't want to throw in black socks. Because,
Correct.
yes.
Those are dirty.
Well, and that team no longer exists.
Also that.
Because of a scandal. And this could be considered a scandal. So
Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson. Over the weekend, the White Sox and the Yankees had another 4-game series. They had one last weekend. Yankees take 3 of 4. White Sox head to the Bronx to take on the Pinstripers again this weekend. Over the weekend, there was a little bit of an exchange between Donaldson and Anderson. Now, last week in a game, Josh Donaldson laid a really hard tag on Tim Anderson, okay? Anderson was rounded second, headed to third. Donaldson happened to be covering the bag. Anderson slid in. Donaldson got the ball, and he laid a really hefty tag down on Tim Anderson. Well, they were having some comments back and forth, and then on Saturday, it came to a head. Because after the two of them were involved in yet another interaction, Josh Donaldson called Tim Anderson Jackie. And it was a reference to, of course, Jackie Robinson, the player who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. After the game, there were a lot of folks who were commenting, a lot of folks who decided to chip in. White Sox manager Tony La Russa said that he thought Donaldson's comment was, quote, racist, end quote. A reporter said, that bad, huh? And La Russa said, as bad as it gets, and then just wanted to carry on. Josh Donaldson himself spoke out. Donaldson said, look, here's the context behind that. When I played in Atlanta, when I played in Milwaukee, we used to joke around. And I've called him that many times. He said, I don't know what has changed since the last time we got together, but apparently that's not something he finds funny anymore. And if that is the case and I offended him, I sincerely apologize. Tim Anderson said that he took it as a disrespect, and he did take it as if there was racial inference in it. And this has been the big talking point of Major League Baseball for the past 2 days, which is a damn shame because it was a great weekend in Major League Baseball. Great weekend of baseball. I got thoughts on this, and quite a few of them. I'm going to start with this. The whole thing stemmed from an interview that Tim Anderson did back in 2019. Back in 2019, Tim Anderson said that he was trying to bring fun into baseball, which, by the way, cool, good, I got your back. He said baseball's a stuffy sport. I'm trying to bring fun into the game. And I guess that kind of makes me feel like the new Jackie Robinson. Now, there's a couple of ways to look at this. Number one, I don't think Tim Anderson was being serious when he made that comment. Like, he feels like being the shortstop who has fun playing baseball is in any way, shape, or form as important or groundbreaking as what Jackie Robinson did 80 years ago. I don't think Tim Anderson thinks that he's on, like, people 100 years from now are going to celebrate Tim Anderson Day because Tim Anderson does cartwheels down the base path, right? I think he was just trying to have a little fun in a 2.5-year-old interview, 3-year-old interview that is now back on its surface. Secondly, I don't know that Josh Donaldson has been calling Tim Anderson Jackie for a couple of years. He said, I called him that when I played for Atlanta. I called him that when I played for the Twins. But now that I'm a Yankee, now that I'm here, suddenly it's not funny anymore. If you are an athlete, Lonzo was moons ago, Rob was many moons ago, there is a camaraderie, a bond between you and your teammates that you don't share with anybody that you don't play sports with, right? Like I had a bond with some of my best friends when I was playing high school basketball that was unlike any bond I have shared with anyone else in my life, right? I'm not saying it was a stronger bond. I'm saying it was a different kind of bond. And you would better believe that things got said between us that I would never say to family or coworkers or really even the rest of my friends that weren't athletes, because it's just a different environment. And we absolutely had nicknames for each other that we would not call each other out of the locker room, right? We had nicknames that we would call each other walking down the hallways, or that we would not call each other walking down the hallways of the school, but we'd call each other that in practice or in the locker room. If Tim Anderson genuinely was called Jackie as a funny haha nickname by Josh Donaldson for 2 years and never had a problem with it, then I don't have an issue with him saying, hey, I'm not cool with that name anymore. But you can't really get mad and want to fight the dude without letting him know that, right? Like if Josh Donaldson has been calling you Jackie since 2019 because you in an interview said, I'm as important to Jackie Robinson, even if you meant it as a joke. And for 2 years, you've let that guy call you that, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. I am 100% fine with you going, hey, man, that nickname's not cool with me anymore. Please don't call me that anymore. And that's fine. Cool. Yeah, don't. It's disrespectful, regardless of the reason why. If I come to work one day and Lonzo goes, hey, man, I've decided please don't call me Zoe anymore, and he's being serious about it, then I won't. What up, Zoe changes to what up, Lonzo. No problem, right?
Well, I did allow that to happen, and some people were upset that I allowed you to do it but didn't allow them to do it. And that's why I allowed you, that's why I allowed you to do it.
And that's why I keep doing it.
Okay.
And that's why I keep doing it. I know the story. It's incredible. Now, if Josh Donaldson has not been calling him Jackie for 2 years after Jackie Robinson, then I can absolutely see how this comment would be taken as a racist comment, right? And here's why. When you get into a blanking contest with another dude, whether you're at the bar or at a sports competition of some type, or standing in the section of a fan section at a game, and you get into it with somebody else, what's the easiest way to throw a barb at that guy? Something that's immediate, right? Something physical, his looks. To look at me and go pop down another donut, lard butt, would be a good burn, because I'm fat. I get it. Haha, you got me. I'm a big boy. If somebody is short, you might throw a short burn at them. If somebody has frosted hair, you might go, great take, in sync, hit me again, right? Like, the easiest way to try to burn a dude when you are into a blanking competition with them is to insult something about them physically, to insult something about them that is obvious and noticeable, especially if you don't know them all that well, right? If I'm leaving the section and a dude I don't know says something to me, I'm going to hit him with a looks bake. I'm going to hit him with something about him physically, because that's all I got. I don't know you. I can't make fun of your limitations or your failures because I don't know them. I'll learn them, but I don't know them. If Josh Donaldson and and Tim Anderson got into it, and Josh Donaldson called him Jackie Robinson because he's black, and that's the only insult he could come up with, then yeah, that's bad. That's not okay. And if that's the way Tim Anderson took it, I respect Tim Anderson for feeling like that's a jacked up insult. Oh, you hit me with the I'm black. That's what you got? Yeah, that's not good. All of this, and I heard radio guys yesterday, including a couple during games, right? Like play-by-play guys getting into this and going an inning or two worth of conversation with it. All of this, as far as I'm concerned, I think needs to start with somebody asking Tim Anderson, has Josh Donaldson been calling you this for 2 years? And if Tim says, yes, has it been funny? Have you joked about it? The answer is yes. I got no problem. Don't call him in again. He asks you to stop. Don't call him that again, right? It's real simple. This is kindergarten stuff. The nickname was fine until one day it's not. Don't call him that again. If somebody calls me chunky and I let him get away with it for 3 years, and then one day I decide I'm really sensitive about my weight, hey, please don't call me that anymore, and you keep doing it, yeah, it's disrespectful, right? Regardless of the inference of what the name means, it's disrespectful. If TA says, don't call me that anymore, don't call him that anymore. That's easy. That's being a grown-up. But, TA, if you have let Josh Donaldson call you Jackie on the base pass for 2 or 3 seasons now and laughed at it when he's done it, you also, I mean, you can ask him to stop, but you can't fist fight him over the fact that he did it because he wouldn't have known it was bad. He wouldn't have known that you were offended by it. I don't think he was calling him Jackie because he was black. I think he was calling him Jackie because Tim Anderson jokingly had the ludicrous take of, I am the new Jackie Robinson. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I love TA, for the record. Tim Anderson's one of my favorite baseball players. TA got suspended earlier this year because I want to say it was against the Tigers, but I could be wrong. Earlier in the year, some fans were giving him grief on the sideline, and he gave them the old out-of-the-pocket bird. That's my favorite bird. The out-of-the-pocket surprise, that's my favorite bird. And TA gave some fans that bird. I loved it. If you're going to heckle players, expect players to heckle back. I'm all on board for that. I love TA. TA, what you're doing for baseball is very good. You know why I like TA? I like Tim Anderson because he is a fun baseball player. Because he does have fun on the base paths. Because when he cranks a homer, he's got one of the best bat flips in baseball. Because when he comes up with a big sliding play at short and throws the dude out for a double play, TA comes up pumped like he's the Hulk, man. It's awesome. You are having fun. You are making baseball fun. I have had fun watching you have fun playing baseball. But let's not pretend that having fun on the baseball field is like Jackie Robinson. It's not, dude. It's not. Nobody is sending you death threats because you're having fun. And don't get me wrong, Zoe, I heard yesterday, towards the end of the day, I heard of course it was, an older sports talk radio guy, an older fan go, you know what he needs to do is shut his mouth and play baseball. It's like, nah, Gramps, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, Pawpaw. He needs to go out there and be Tim Anderson. Because being Tim Anderson has him playing all-star caliber baseball. Because being Tim Anderson has him as a potential gold glover, has him potentially a silver slugger. A couple of years back, TA was contending for the American League batting title. So no, Pops, he doesn't need to shut his mouth and play baseball like they did back in my day in the 60s. Nobody cares, Gramps. Nobody cares. Relax. TA needs to play TA's baseball because TA's baseball is all-star caliber. So let him be him. But at the same time, TA, let's not pretend like having fun playing baseball is akin to what Jackie went through. Yeah, you're going to have some people that don't like fun in baseball who are going, stop having fun, you're a ball player. But those guys are all 75 and going to retire or be kicked off the radio soon. All right? Guys like me that win awards for doing this, we got your back. We like it. We're here for it. Keep going. But you're not Jackie Robinson. So Josh Donaldson had the same thought. Like, haha, that's funny, Tim. And Tim probably meant it to be funny. I don't know him. I haven't asked him. But I'm sure TA had those comments lined up, meant to be funny, right? Like, haha, I'm the new Jackie Robinson, LOL. Same way I come in here and I'm like, hey, I'm the new Bob Costas. No, I'm not, but it's funny. So Josh Donaldson would have called him that, not, hey, you're Jackie because you're black. but you're Jackie because you made a ludicrous comment that having fun made you akin to Jackie Robinson. No, it doesn't. So, haha, I'm going to call you Jackie because that's funny. And in that case, it is funny. To me, it is funny to me. But if TA shows up and says, hey, man, it's not funny anymore, for whatever reason, for any reason, if TA says it's not funny anymore, it's not funny anymore. Stop. That being said, apparently, after the hard tackle, and by the way, that can come from the dust-up, right? Josh Donaldson lays a hard tag down on Tim Anderson last week. Lonzo, you ever been friends with a dude and then they, pardon the young people language, I don't know if it's young anymore, you ever been friends with a dude and then they try you? They like challenge you physically and you immediately don't look at them the same anymore?
Yeah, quite a few friends growing up.
Yeah.
And afterwards, unfortunately. But yeah.
Yeah, we've all had it. You got a guy that you like, that you're boys with, that you're close to. And then one day they try you. They challenge you physically. They disrespect you. And all of a sudden, you don't look at them the same way anymore. Now, it might go back to it, right? Down the road, you might go, dude, what a stupid dust up. Can't believe we fought over that. The majority of us had a dust up with one of our boys over a girl, right? I did. The majority of us had a dust up with one of our guys over a gal. I did my junior year playing basketball. Cat by the name of Keith Thompson, who I had been really good friends with. Keith Thompson and I got up into a dust up over a girl. And I didn't look at Keith the same way afterwards. Because we had words for each other about it, man. And then, a number of years later, we ended up at the same event. We had really not spoken for like 2 years, 3 years. And this is post-graduation. We showed up at the same event together one day, and we were like, what's up, dude? How you been, man? Good, man. How are you? Good, married, got a kid. Great for you. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And we're like, whatever happened to that girl? Both of us were like, I don't know. Keith won the girl. We didn't talk for a while. They broke up. She left town. He's like, I don't know. Dropped her on Facebook. No idea. We're like, dude, we wasted 2 years of being friends over a chick. That was dumb. We've all done it, right? That hard tag might have been that moment where TA was like, yo, that was a disrespectful physical challenge that was unnecessary on the baseball diamond. And now, me and you, we ain't boys anymore. Because you just tried to show me up on the diamond for no reason at all, and I'm not here for it. I'm not going to be cool with that. And so there, the tag went away. The tag made the friendship, if you will, go away. I don't think this is as complicated. Like, everybody is tiptoeing around this discussion. And I understand why. We live in, like it or not, sensitive times. There is an ongoing, oftentimes uncomfortable discussion about race going on in this country. And sports is not immune to that. Sports is not immune to that at all. Sports is going to have that discussion because there may not be a place where racial crossover is as dynamic as it is in sports. So a lot of people are tiptoeing around this, but I don't think it's a conversation that needs to be tiptoed around. I think there's about 4 questions to be asked of both of these guys that could put this thing to bed. Number 1, Tim Anderson. Has Donaldson been calling you Jackie for 2 or 3 years now? If TA says yes, then the answer is, why'd you make a big deal of it now? And if his answer is, because I don't want him calling me that anymore, for whatever reason, cool, it's over, but let's not pretend like Josh Donaldson made some big racist comment. It wasn't. It was him joking around with one of his boys. And if one of his boys is now no longer one of his boys because of the hard tag, then fine, the nickname goes away. But let's not hammer Josh Donaldson for it. However, if TA says, yeah, he's been calling me that for 3 years and I've asked him to stop for 3 years, then yeah, I got a problem with Donaldson. Or if I go, TA has been calling you Jackie for 3 years and TA goes, no, he hasn't been calling me that for 3 years. I don't know why he decided to call it here. Then you go back to Donaldson and go, why'd you lie about it? Or why did you keep calling him that when he asked you to stop 3 years ago? It's a really simple set of questions that could put this conversation to bed instead of everybody pretending like this is the most controversial racial landmine in years in the world of sports. It's really not.
I think this is kind of, with everything you've explained, kind of the definition of work friends. You think you're a friend with someone at work,
Sure.
and you guys you're hanging out, you're doing all this stuff, and then they go to a different job, and you see them out, and they treat you a certain way, like they were never your friend, and you still think you thought it was something else. He switched locker rooms, and you're right. The stuff that is said in locker rooms that they're trying to get out of being said in locker rooms, and probably never will. There are things that should never be repeated outside of it.
100%.
And you're right about nicknames and how people are treated and things like that. And I don't know. I want to hear his answer about whether he's been calling him that all this time. And the way you explained it, I've never heard. I saw on a couple of different things this morning about it. Never heard the part about him calling himself the next Jackie. Never heard that. It's only been about the race aspect of it. So it's another one of those things, full story. Even if it comes out, though, that he had been calling him that and he just decided he didn't want him to call him that anymore, this has taken on a life of its own.
Yeah.
And this will end up with Anderson probably suspended.
I disagree. I think it's going to end up with Josh Donaldson suspended. I think Donaldson's the one that gets suspended. I think Donaldson, because here's the thing. Once La Russa said it's racist and once Tim Anderson says it's racist, baseball's not going to side on the side.
I said the wrong name. I'm
okay,
sorry.
gotcha. Yeah. I think once TA and La Russa both called it racist, baseball is not going to fall against that side, fair or unfair. And I think in this case, it is unfair until we get those questions answered. And they're not hard questions to answer, right? Like, if you go to TA and go, has Josh Donaldson been calling you Jackie for 3 years? And he goes, yeah, he has, and I have not had a problem with it. The matter is settled. It wasn't racist. It was Donaldson doing something that he's been doing for years, and now it's not okay. So just don't do it again, and it's over.
Yeah, but it won't be because of the heights that it's reaching now.
Oh, 100%. It's the biggest discussion in baseball after a really good weekend of baseball. Really good weekend of baseball. And this is the discussion, which is a bit of a bummer. A bit of a bummer. So, I'd like to ask TA, has he been calling you Jackie for years? If the answer is yes, and you've never spoken up about it, then this is over. Don't do it again, Josh Donaldson. We're not going to fist fight, boys. Go to your rooms. If he has been calling you Jackie for years and you have asked him to stop, then it's a problem. If he has not been calling you Jackie for years and he just did it out of the blue, that is a problem. But when we know the answer to those three questions, this conversation is settled. But between here and wherever it is that we find out the answers, everybody is tiptoeing around this like it's the biggest racial landmine in the history of baseball, and I promise you, it is not. Let's take a break. I'm Rob Lonzo. The Rob Brown Show is right here on the Fan Upstate. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Beautiful, Zach. Beautiful. Well done. That's a good reference. Hashtag winning. Tayshawn says Rob gets road rage. Doesn't everybody get a little bit of road rage? Like everybody gets a little bit of road rage. Not like run people off with a road rage. But like everybody gets you get a little road rage, right?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Tell me in the stream that you guys don't get road rage. Lie to me and tell me you don't get road rage. Skrilla, welcome in. He says, welcome to Monday. Just out here playing in the rain, trying to not get electrocuted. You should stop doing whatever you're doing. Skrilla? Ben says, I want to see the baseball guys having more fun on the field. Yeah, they have to, right? Like, why do we all play baseball as kids? To have fun. And then at some point, the fun's supposed to not be there anymore? I don't get that.
The only reason why I played baseball as a kid is because no one would play football that day. And how do you define rage? I mean, rage is a totally different. It's one thing to get mad. Being angry is not necessarily rage. Rage causes you to do something that you shouldn't do. Like rage quitting a video game and picking your system up and throwing it against the wall.
Right, but like you can rage quit without then doing the second part. Like the rage. So I think rage is just in this case a word that sounds better because road angry doesn't really get it across. Like I'm road mad.
All right, when the Hulk rages, something gets broke. That's
not true. You have rage quit video games, but not broken anything.
I said when the Hulk does. I didn't say me. I'm not the Hulk. I wasn't considering myself the Hulk. Raging is screaming at the top of your lungs. Your blood pressure is going up because you're so mad about something going on. Like someone doing 20 miles an hour in a 55 or something like that, and you can't get around them.
Infuriating.
Golf cart next break.
All right, I'm not going to spend a bunch more time on this. But I'm flipping channels, and basically everybody is discussing it. And the biggest addition to the discussion since yesterday is that Major League Baseball is now currently looking into the story breaking between Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson and is, quote, speaking to all relevant parties, end quote. So what's interesting about this is that the only group that is doing the right thing here is Major League Baseball, right? I didn't hear, and again, I will not sit here and pretend like I heard every minute of post-game from Saturday between Donaldson and Anderson. I will not say that I heard every minute of post-game between the two games these two teams played on Sunday, which, by the way, I don't know if this was on purpose, but Tim Anderson sat out the first game of yesterday's doubleheader, and then Josh Donaldson sat out the second game, right? So I don't know if Aaron Boone and Tony La Russa had a phone call and went, hey, man, like, let's make both our lives easier. You sit one guy out of one game, I'll set the other guy out of the other, and let's just avoid confrontation, right? Or not. But that's what happened. And it worked out well. But I think Major League Baseball is the only group doing the right thing. And again, I don't fault radio dudes. I don't fault, especially guys in like Chicago, New York. We have to talk about this, right? Like, we have to talk about it. That's our job. And the majority of us don't have any resources to investigate the altercation any further than relying on the reporting of ESPN and CBS and Fox and ABC and whoever else is on the scene. We don't have any access other than relying on the reporters in Chicago and the reporters in New York to sit down with these players, hopefully ask the questions that we would like to ask, predominantly the 3 or 4 questions I gave you in the last segment, and get it done. But because the conversation about race in this country is so sensitive right now, and it's fair that it is, I'm not complaining about that, I'm stating a fact. Because the conversation about race is so sensitive, it makes it tough to really have this conversation, because if you come down on the wrong side of it or you go too far, you say the wrong thing, you will be painted into a corner as if you are racist. And some people might be and some people might not be. Right? I said something here. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm going to go ahead and pull the window back on myself a little bit. Right? I said something last week at a soccer match that got me labeled out loud publicly by another fan as being a part of the movement of toxic masculinity. Lonzo laughed at that because nope. Because nope. Because outside of the players and coaches, I doubt there is another male in this county who is doing more to give a platform to women's sports in the broadcasting space. I know there are a lot of good men out there that are busting hump to create opportunities for women to compete in sports at a higher level. But I doubt there are very many broadcasters in this county doing as much as I am, and I'm trying to do more to give the same platform. But I said one sentence that was taken the wrong way, and I got accused of toxic masculinity. A sentence, by the way, that I took from the wives of one of the players and was quoting as a joke. But I got accused. This is what I'm saying. If you say the wrong thing in the right minute, it can be taken out of context and used to make a claim against you. The guy who was very excited to call the very first game of the Greenville Liberty got accused of toxic masculinity at another soccer game because I quoted the wife of a player. No. And had that caught on, I would have had to address that down the line. But fortunately for me, the people in the section who overheard it were like, no, dude, shut up. No, absolutely not. The point that I'm making here is this discussion is very hard for a lot of people to have, because if you make the wrong comment and it's taken out of context, you can get in trouble. That might be what happened with Josh Donaldson. It might not be. He may very well have said it with the intention of it coming across as racist, or the intention behind it was racist. He also may have been truly calling Tim Anderson that name for a number of years now, and TA decided today was the day I'm going to get mad and do something about it. I don't know. But Major League Baseball has decided that they are going to talk to TA, they're going to talk to Josh Donaldson, they're going to talk to all the different people within that altercation and try and find out who's telling the truth and who's not. And I think that's the best way to handle it. The majority of these types of situations could be best handled with a conversation. Not a rush to discipline, not a rush to labels, not a rush to assumptions, and not a rush to decisions. These could be handled with a rush to discussion. Let's talk about it. Let's ask Josh Donaldson why he said what he said. Let's ask Tim Anderson, has he been calling you this for years? Let's ask the other guys that have played in games these two guys have played in. Have you heard Josh Donaldson say Jackie before? Have you heard Tim Anderson respond to it by laughing or joking with him or haha buddy buddy? It's going to be easy to find the truth. It just takes discussion. And MLB says we're going to investigate it, but we're going to have a conversation about it. We're going to judge. And look, if it comes out that Josh Donaldson meant it as racist, intended it as racist, then yeah, there's going to be a discipline. There's going to be a punishment. But baseball did not immediately come out and go, okay, 3-game suspension because it was racist. They said, we're going to have a discussion with these guys. And they are. So ultimately, good on baseball for doing that. Because I feel like there are some other sports that would have very much rushed to label Josh Donaldson a racist. I don't know if he is or not. I don't know the dude. But I know that we could ask a handful of questions and find out, was this a buddy haha locker room moment that went sideways? Or was it a moment of bad faith? And the answers to those two questions are available by asking questions to TA, to JD, and to the players that shared the field with these two guys over the last 3 years. Between Minnesota teammates of Josh Donaldson, Atlanta teammates of Josh Donaldson, and White Sox teammates of TA. When you guys played, did he call him this in the past? Did he laugh at it? If the answer to both is yes, we don't have a problem. Don't do it again, Josh. Game over. If the answer to either one is no, we have a further discussion with Josh Donaldson about what happened. But baseball did not rush to labels, did not rush to discipline. They rushed to have a conversation, and I think that's the right way to handle it. Let's take a break. My name is Rob Brown. His name is Lonzo. Your thoughts, your reaction, your addition to the conversation is wanted, desired, and welcomed. Text us at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. We will read them on the air when we come back. Rob Lonzo, this is the Fan Upstate.
Golf card.
on that screen. Hello, stream. We were talking about pizza.
It's the perfect season for a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Summer Sale Event. Save up to 45% on secure PCs built for business with Windows 10 Pro. You'll also find great savings on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and other accessories to help boost productivity. Plus, enjoy
Hope it's raining like this at home.
do more with modern devices and
Need some rain.
Call 877-ASK-BILL for a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the right tech. That's 877
People's lawns are dying.
specials during Dell's Summer Sale Event.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get into Zone, AutoZone.
By the way, since we're wrapping up our Numerados, can we send congratulations to our guy Diddy? Diddy strapped on the old ball and chain. Actually, I should say that Ashley strapped on the old ball and chain.
Don't do that, man. You know, they're a happy couple.
They really
Just
are.
got married. Don't put a ball and chain.
Their
involved in
pictures
that.
from this weekend, they got hitched, they got married, they got wed, and their pictures from this weekend are like disgustingly adorable. I love it in all the best ways. Congratulations to our boy Diddy and his much better half Ashley for what's the old tying the knot. I believe.
There
is
we
the
go.
expression.
That's a better expression than the one you used.
Why do we? What is that? Like I know that there's a reason for it. Why do we say tying the knot?
I don't know.
Where does that come from? All right, let's see. According to Culture Trip, Lonzo, how many segments have we done where I've said an expression and been like, why do we say that? I have to know now. Okay, so tying the knot. All right, have you ever seen Braveheart?
I am.
That's a dumb question.
I'm offended right
That's
now.
fair.
I
That's
really,
fair.
I really am.
That's fair.
If you're watching the stream, you see it's just like he punched me in the face.
Yeah, Lonzo just sat back in the chair like, dude, are you serious? It comes from the old Celtic practice, and now it's Scotch-Irish. But in fact, my drummer did this ceremony when he got married in the wedding that I did. I did his wedding down in Destin, where they will clasp hands, and then they'll take a piece of fabric and like weave it around. And there's different colored fabrics for different.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where it comes from, because after they weave, when you hold hands while you're saying your vows, someone will weave the fabric around your hands. And then when they obviously get to the end of it, Lonzo, they tie it in a knot. And then the hands stay tied together until the ceremony is over. But that's where the expression tie the knot comes from. How about that? Either way, congrats to Diddy and his better half, Ashley, for tying the knot this weekend. They are two of the nicest people that I have met since I moved here. Very happy to call Diddy a friend, and much happier to call Ashley a friend. Diddy outkicked his coverage, as the expression goes. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where you get invited to a wedding and you'd love to go, but you don't fly.
Hey, but one way to get there.
Yeah. So it's
It's a
like
long-ass boat ride.
Oh well.
Congratulations to Diddy and Ashley. Super happy, super proud. They are both very, very good. Have you noticed the trend, by the way, that the majority of us in sports talk radio, and I'm talking about Diesel, Lonzo, me, Mark, we all outkick our coverage. Is it a thing? Like, you get into this business and you just find women that are better than you, because we all have done it.
So is it wrong to think, man, I'm a catch? I'm not saying that I'm thinking that. Is it wrong to think that? Because you're implying like it's wrong to think that way.
I mean, I didn't say it.
Okay.
You
I'm
did.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, is it wrong to think that?
I mean, I'm not mad at you for it. I mean, I am. Look at me. Look at me. Of course we're catches, but still,
Hey, that's
I'll kick the coverage.
It's a little toxic over
Diddy
there.
included.
You
know me.
Keep that under control.
You know me. Coming up in the next hour of the show, Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban, Deion Sanders. We all know the drama that went down last week. How about Neon Deion challenging Nick Saban to a game? Now,
My wife has said that I am a catch, so it makes me feel better. You know.
I respect that. But we all we
Oh, she's amazing, without a doubt. She puts up with me all the time, and
There it is.
for almost 30 years.
There
I
it
mean,
is.
yeah, it's yeah.
long as we're on the same page there. Long as we're all on the same page there. All right. We got a couple more things to get to. Deion challenged Nick Saban in Alabama to a game after Nick Saban pointed out that the number one recruit in college football went to Deion's school and said, hey, would he have gone there if he didn't get $1 million payday? Travis Hunter, the kid, said, yo, do you think if I got a check for $1 million that my mom's would still be living in a 3-bedroom apartment with 3 kids? No, of course not. She'd be out. She'd be doing better, which is fair. But has he gotten the money yet? He ain't played yet, right? That's the question. Is the money even there? Does it exist? Or was it a rumor that got out of control? And Nick Saban apologized to Jimbo Fisher. ... Kind of. We'll talk about the As the World Turns SEC edition when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Am I doing a bad job today? Because we have gotten one text today.
It's raining.
And?
Well, as Milli Vanilli once said,
Blame it on the rain?
blame it on the
Blame
rain.
it on the, blame 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 it on the rain? I believe is what they
I don't think
actually
it
said.
skipped that many times, but yeah. I was watching Saturday Night Live when that happened live and was like, oh.
Blame it on
This was like, wait. They don't actually sing the songs? No. I was devastated. I went straight away and I rage stomped on my Milli Vanilli
Rage
cassette.
Stomped.
Yes, this has killer bass that's rocking my tins in my trunk, but no, they didn't sing the song.
There's nothing worse than coming home from a hot day to find out that your AC unit isn't working. When this happens, you need an HVAC company you can trust.
Daggone it.
Give your system a thorough checkup. And if you need a new unit, Priority Heating and Air is a proud distributor of the Coleman line of HVAC systems. So keep your family or business cool this summer and give Priority Heating and Air a call today at 591-1847.
Legit, so it's a no-brainer.
Priority Heating and Air HVAC.com.
Sports radio at home. Ask Alexa to play CBS Sports Radio.
Like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can take your job to some job board. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. Identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality
Why am I
candidate
struggling
within
with
the
this
first day.
today?
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
They 5-1.
You can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free.
To be involved in it again is-
/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Down Celtics and Heat game 4 tonight in Boston
/radio.
is special.
I'm talking about fans all over the country. Where is your life that shoving a beer can on the field at a baseball game seems like a good idea or acceptable behavior? I hate to say it, but it is just a game. A game in April. If you can't go to a game in April and not throw something on the field, you should not be going to games.
Jim Rome and the Jungle at noon. CBS Sports Radio.
So I started following Elden Ring on Twitter just cause, and now I'm starting to get emails of notifications of them. You know, maybe I shouldn't have did that since I still haven't beat it. I'm getting closer though. I have more confidence this time I'm actually going to do it.
Good day, sir. Okay. Okay. That's the only one I can go, so that works out just fine. All right, buddy. Thanks. That's perfect. How many do you have? 100? It's all good.
I was going to point out how ugly his shirt is, but I didn't want to affect, you know, you. By,
Yeah, let me get my free tickets first.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
you can tell.
yeah, okay. Maybe I'll beat it by then before they drop Tayshaun, but, you know.
Here we go. The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes right now. This is the fan upstate. Hello, upstate South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. It's Monday, y'all. And you are listening to the most energetic sports talk radio show in all the land right here on the best damn sports talk station in all the nation. The fan upstate rolls on. I'm Rob, the great one, the professor of perfection, the wizard of wave, Lonzo. By the way, somebody asked me over this weekend what wizard of wave means. Like, it's like, what does that mean? Like, is Lonzo waving at people? Audio files, at least in the way that Lonzo and I work on them, audio files are saved, described as a wave format, WAV. And so all the files that we have saved that Lonzo does all his wizardry with to make us the 2021 South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Radio Show of the Year, they're all wave files, hence he is the Wizard of Wave.
Yeah, the manipulation of sound is what I do because I'm a wizard.
Just only say that forever. People who get it are laughing. People who don't are like, what is he talking about? The Wizard of Wave. On the other side of the glass. All right. A couple more things I wanted to get into. Last week, there was all of the drama between Jimbo and Nick and Primetime. Deion Sanders. It started when Nick Saban said on Wednesday that Texas A&M bought the number one recruiting class in the country. Nick said that, you know, that they bought the number one class. We were number two last year, and now they jumped ahead of us, and or we were number one, and then they jumped ahead of us. They bought their class. Yada yada yada. Jimbo got hold of those comments. And on, what was it, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday during the show, Jimbo Fisher held what I think, Lonzo, will go down as the most iconic college football press conference since I'm a man, I'm 40. Which, by the way, was a solid like 15 years ago.
Which I still yell at people who are doing 30 and a 40. Be a man.
Be a man.
Be 40. Yes.
I'm a man. I'm 40. That is 15 years old this year, by the way.
Wow, so he's 55 now.
When that came out, Lonzo actually was 40. He was a man and was 40.
No, I wasn't. But close.
Fantastic press conference. And I think Jimbo put together the press conference that has fun. Has there been a press conference since I'm a man, I'm 40 that has matched up to the meme ability of I'm a man, I'm 40?
It's going to be talked about for a while. Even if he were to backtrack and apologize, people are going to be talking about this for a long time.
Yeah. I'm a man, I'm 40 was talked about for years. And now this. And now this, right? The next time somebody calls me, which, by the way, stop calling people, just text them, all right? Nobody wants to answer the phone in 2022. 0 people want to answer the phone. I will answer the phone for like 6 people. My mother, my girlfriend, Lonzo, my boss. That's the list.
So I texted Rob Saturday. I'm like, there's no way he'll respond to this. But you actually did.
I did.
And then,
but what did you text me first?
Well, I asked you a question, and,
Right.
and then the next question was, can I call you? Yes.
And by the way, thank you for asking.
Yeah, because you're a busy guy. I'm not gonna. You always got something going on.
Oh,
so,
and I did.
And I don't want to interrupt.
Again, there's like 4 people. My mom can call me. The girlfriend can call me. Lonzo and the boss can call me. Outside of that, don't call me.
There is something here that you and I have pioneered. I mean, I started it. You have nearly perfected it. So if we have questions about it, and you're watching it right now, if you're watching it on stream, if I have a question about doing something that I can't figure out, I ask Rob because he usually can. Now, he was busy and I figured it out, but still. So now we've learned something else. And this is how we learn how to do things with some things that other people aren't doing yet. So
And if you have a question.
Wanted to point out how awesome we are. But yeah. Text someone before you call them.
You're right. We are. But again, if you need to call me, like if you have a discussion that can't be had via text, shoot me a text to say I need to talk to you, right? And that's fine, because then I can like carve out a minute, either right now or I'll be like, call me in 20, I'll be good, whatever. If you need to talk to me about something that's more than just text me, right? Text me first. Here's the other part. You want to know why that's the thing? Because you know how much easier it is to say no if you text me than if you call me? Let's be honest. Let's get down to it.
Or I didn't see it.
Right. If I want to ignore it or say no, it is so much easier to do via text than a phone call, because I'm a yes man. I'm a people pleaser, right? And if I can do something to help you, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to drop what I'm doing to do it.
Although there is a setting on your phone that lets the person who sent it know that you read it, and which was pointed out to
Turn
me
that off on my phone.
by someone who was really angry with me because he thinks that I ignored his text, which I did. But he's the one who taught me how to do that, and I would like to thank someone with a C in their name for that.
Fair enough. So, text me, don't call me, but that's not the point of the discussion. We're going down. If you do call me, and I hit the old sleep button on your name, and somebody asks about it, I'm going to be like, no, we're done. Right? Because that's what Jimbo said. The guy said, have you spoken to Nick? And Jimbo went, hey, he called me. And the reporter goes, you didn't take the call? And he goes, no, we're done. First off, I'm going to go ahead and this is how production works for me and Lonzo. We just think of stuff on it, like on the fly. We were like, we should do that. First off, every phone call that we take from now moving forward needs to be ended with the tag of Jimbo going, no, we're done. Right? Every phone call we take or make should be ended with Jimbo going, no, we're done. Because it was such a great line. Anyway, Jimbo Fisher gives us the most iconic college football press conference since Mike Gundy decided he needed to remind us all that he's a man, he's 40. Don't write about the players in the paper, write about me. And the reason he made that, I don't know if you can take yourself back 15 years. But if you take yourself back 15 years, do you know why Mike Gundy did the I'm a man, I'm 40 press conference? It was because there was some drama going on amongst the players in his ball club. And he wanted to deflect that negative attention away from the ball club and onto him. So he went out like an unhinged man, like an unhinged human being, and gave the most ridiculous ass press conference of all time. I'm a man, I'm 40. You want to write about something, you write about me. I'm a man. The point of that was not because he wanted his name in the paper more. Point was to get the attention off of the potential rules violations going on in his program. Jimbo came out and decided to go ham on that. He decided to go bananas on what Nick had to say. And he turned it into a big-time press conference. Now, I gave my position on this on Friday's show. First off, I think Jimbo told on himself a little bit, right? Because Nick never said you broke rules. Nick never said you broke laws. And what's the first thing Jimbo said when it came out? I think it's ridiculous that I got to come out here and defend 17-year-old kids and their families from being accused of breaking laws and breaking rules. No, you don't, though, Jimbo, because Nick never said that they violated laws or violated rules. Nick never accused them of breaking the law or breaking the rules, right? So you kind of told on yourself a little bit there, right? If mom walks into the boys' room and goes, hey, I need to talk to you guys, and one of the kids goes, I didn't take the cookies, you know good and daggone well who took the cookies, right? You told on yourself a little bit there, Jimbo. You told on yourself a little bit. But then Jimbo went on, on 50 other rounds of defense against things Nick didn't say, and it got a little heated. Which, again, cool, I get it. I do think absolutely that Jimbo wanted to deflect the attention away from NIL because I think most of us believe, with some supporting evidence, that Texas A&M did okay in the NIL sphere, right? Texas A&M, now, for the record, as I also said on Friday, I got no issue with it. I got no issue with it. And I got no issue with it predominantly because that's the rules. All Jimbo Fisher did was take advantage of the new rules of college football to put together a whale of a recruiting class. But I think he wanted to deflect that because the NIL is still got a lot of negative stigma attached to it, like it or not, right? And there are still people who are, to some degree, frowning on the NIL and how it's set up and how it works. And so for Jimbo to come out and make the statements that Jimbo made deflects away from the fact that, yeah, seems to most of us, like Texas A&M did pretty okay with the NIL stuff. He wants to deflect that, make it seem like, because what did he say? Both, a number of months ago when the internet comments started, and what was he saying in that press conference? Oh, have you been to Texas A&M? Have you come to College Station? Have you seen Kyle Field? We got the most passionate fan base in football, and they do because they're a cult. But we got the most passionate fan base in football. We got the best home field advantage in football. And every year they're voted one of the best home field advantages. Sure. You get a great education. I know a lot of A&M grads. They're all ridiculously intelligent people. They absolutely do. It's a great education at A&M. It's a cult, but it's a great education. That's what Jimbo's focusing on because of the negative stigma still attached to NIL. 10 years from now, when that stigma goes away, Jimbo's going to go, hell yeah, we did back in 2022. We did better. We did better than everybody else at having our fans and our boosters organize themselves to make A&M more attractive than Alabama and LSU and Georgia and whatever, Clemson and whatever other schools. We did more to make ourselves more attractive with financial possibilities than any of those other schools. You should be taking pride in that, right? You didn't violate any rules. You didn't break any rules. You did exactly what was on the table and allowed to bring them in. And I think that's what Jimbo should have said from the beginning. But, Jimbo decided to take it the way of, let's get the attention off of NIL. Let's get it back on how good Texas A&M is as a school and go from there. So later in the week, Nick Saban comes out. And Nick Saban apologizes. He did an interview on ESPNU radio where he said, I should have never singled anybody else out. That was a mistake, and I apologize for that part of it, end quote. Then he went on to say, quote, I really wasn't saying anybody did anything illegal in using NIL. That was something assumed by what I said. It's not what I meant. There's nothing illegal about doing this. It's the system. That's the issue I have, end quote. All right? Here's the thing. Lonzo, he's right about that part, right? He did not accuse anybody of breaking the rules. He did not accuse anybody of breaking the law, and he didn't say that anybody did anything illegal. I said on Thursday, minutes after the press conference was over, go back and listen to it. I said last Thursday after the press conference was over, Jimbo told on himself because Nick Saban never accused him or these kids of breaking the law, and then he came out and said, I don't have to defend these kids. They didn't break. Yeah, we know. Nobody said they did. You just jumped on it here. Right?
So the biggest mistake Saban made, whether you agree with his take on NIL or not, was singling out Texas A&M.
I don't think it was a mistake, right? Because again, what recruiting class does Alabama have right now? Do you know off the top of your head? Number 2. You know who has number 1?
Let's say you just cheated by telling me I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I figured he'd be top 5 because he's always top 5. So
he's number 2.
But I knew Texas A&M got number one. I mean, and
so who the hell else was Nick Saban going to complain about, right?
True.
Who the hell else is he going to complain about? If you're in a race and your car comes in second and you want to talk about a really, really fast car, there ain't but one guy you can talk about, and it's the guy that beat you. Ain't but one guy that beat Nick Saban in recruiting. So if Nick Saban wants to complain about NIL and wants to complain about a college football fan base taking advantage of NIL and being better than him because they took it, right? What he's saying is, ain't nobody can recruit better than Alabama. Texas A&M had to pay to do it, which is fine and possibly true. What Nick said there is, nobody can recruit better than me. And the only way that Jimbo recruited better than me was by paying for it. Which, don't get me wrong, Lonzo, is a phenomenal promo. Phenomenal promo.
Is he wrong, though?
I don't think he's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think he's wrong.
I mean, the history would prove that, yeah.
Nick's top 2, 3 every year. Nobody else is. He may not win number 1 every year, but he's always inside the top 3, and nobody else is. Kirby got him for a year. What'd he do the next year? Got Kirby back. Jimbo got him for a year. What'd he do to Jimbo? Got Jimbo back, right? I don't think he's wrong. I think, in fact, I defended Saban on Friday. I said Nick Saban is in the right here. I shouldn't have called out one guy. There ain't but one guy to have called out, right? It's one of those things, though, that even if you didn't mention him by name, we know who you're talking about. If he comes out and he goes, for years we've done it the right way, and now you got college football coaches out here buying. Actually, he never said coaches, by the way. He just said Texas A&M. Now we've got programs out here that are buying number 1 recruiting classes. Yeah, there's only one of them ahead of you. We know who it is. So, what else was he going to say? The other option was to say nothing at all, right? The other option was to say nothing at all. And you know that. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. All right, Texter says Saban is upset that other coaches are using NIL money to lure recruits away from Alabama. But Jimbo and Dion both know they're using NIL as a recruiting tool. Let's say they are. Yeah? Let's say they are. Here's my question. And? Saban can be mad about it. Saban can go, other schools are using NIL to get guys that would have been in my recruiting class in previous years, would have kept me on top. And let's say he's true. For the sake of discussion, let's say that's accurate. He's right. Hey, Nick, You better get your guys organized. You better tell your boosters in Tuscaloosa that if they want to keep as the number one program of the last 20 years in college football, y'all better organize. Y'all better get your NIL organizations in shape and squared away. Because that's the game now. Like it or not, that is the game. And if you do, you'll stay right there at the top. And if you don't, Texas A&M's going to snipe you again next year. Deion, same boat. Does Travis Hunter go play for Deion? Now, Travis Hunter did say, I wish somebody would have signed that $1 million check for me that apparently I got that nobody told me about. If I got $1 million check, don't you think I'd have moved my mom out of a 3-bedroom apartment where she's living with 3 kids? Which makes sense, right? I'm not saying he did or did not get $1 million. I'm saying the story is that he got $1 million from Barstool to play for Deion and not go to Florida State, which crippled Florida State's recruiting class, right? FSU was about to pull in the number 1 defensive player in this recruiting class, and he ends up at Jackson State. There has also been, over the past year and a half, and I have felt this, right? And I believe this. There has been a massive shift in the acknowledgement of historically black colleges and universities in the land of college football. Deion coaches one. So not only do you get to play for primetime, one of the most recognizable, there's a Deion Sanders autograph hanging in my office right now because I've been a Deion fan. He is the only, Lonzo, the only Dallas Cowboy that I will hang on my wall. Mike doesn't go up. Emmett's from my hometown or my home area, Pensacola. Emmett doesn't go up. Troy doesn't go up. One Dallas Cowboy will ever hang on my wall, and it's Deion because I loved Deion as a kid. We all did. So to play for Deion for kids my age and younger is kind of a big deal, right? And if you're like Travis Hunter, a two-way player, a special teams ace and a two-way player, who better to get you ready for the league as a two-way player and special teams ace than Deion freaking Sanders, who did it and knows the league and is a little more wizened now, right? And on top of all of that, he has said for a hot minute to play for an HBCU and help HBCUs get on the map is important to him. He may not have he did, but he may not have accepted $1 in NILs. He did, but it's probably not $1 million like has been reported, or maybe it is. Who cares? The point is that it's legal. It's above board. It's on the table. He's allowed to. And if Nick is mad about that, well, you better get your NIL groups in Tuscaloosa organized or you're going to get it again, Nick. Now, I think Nick's going to be fine. Nick has complained multiple times about college football, and multiple times he has come back from it and kicked everybody's rear end under the new system that he previously complained about. I ain't worried about Nick. I think Jimbo went overboard. Check this out. Texter says, and I quote, to quote the water boy, Jimbo mad because he got all them recruits and no trophy. He got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
That remains to be seen, what he can do with all those recruits.
I mean, look, Jimbo got hired there how many years ago? And he was expected to win a championship, and he ain't done it yet. In fact, now I don't think he's won the SEC West yet, has he? Right? They brought Jimbo over from Tallahassee. He was supposed to be the big deal. He ain't done it yet. He beat Nick, sure, but he ain't won the West yet, has he? Not that I'm aware of. If it is, it's blanking from my memory, if so. But, Jimbo got mad and told on himself a little bit. I absolutely think when it's all said and done, 2, 5, 6, 7 years from now, when the NIL numbers come in, we're going to look back at Texas A&M's 2022 class and go, that was a hell of use of NIL to get that recruiting class in. Jimbo told on himself a little bit. And maybe that was the goal, right? Maybe Nick just wanted to bait Jimbo into telling himself a little bit, to letting the cat out of the bag, proverbially, metaphorically speaking.
By the way, I checked, and I don't see Texas A&M winning their side, the West.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I didn't think they did under Jimbo yet, or I guess at all.
Yeah, it looks like never.
Well, I mean, they've only been in for a handful of years.
Right, but the majority of those, I think he's been the coach.
So I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, Nick's mad because somebody found a way to beat him. Nick will be back. Jimbo's mad because Jimbo thinks he got accused of something he didn't do, which he did not. And Jimbo told on himself by going so fervently hard in on the defense of something he did not do that you're like, there's got to be something else there, right? Damn, Jimbo, that seems like a lot of defense over a mild claim. But we'll see. Texas, Roger texts and says, give me your email to send in a mullet pick. Oh, we got a mullet hunt update. Rob.brown@thefan.com. Rob.brown@thefan.com. Send in your mullet hunt picks. We may do a mullet update here in just a little while. Let's take a break. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is The Fan Upstate. Yeah.
Before you eat.
Rob Alonso, your biggest fan. My 5-year-old son Tristan graduates 4K tomorrow. He asked before I dropped him off at school to you guys, and I quote, "Tell Mr. Rob and Mr. Alonso that I graduate tomorrow, brother." Hey, you tell Tristan that we said congratulations, brother. And next time that you're both listening to the show, you let us know. We'll send a personal congratulations.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens?
What do you mean as necessary? It's necessary now because if it's not there, I can't do it. Okay. Yes, I'm talking to my email.
Always streaming wherever you are on the Odyssey app. Make the fan upstate.
All right, here we go. Stevie, towards the end of the show, Rob Brown, Lonzo, and you. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate Chamber of Commerce weather outside, ladies and gentlemen. Raining all across the listening area, and it's nasty outside. So be careful if you're out there driving about on the highways and byways of the upstate because, gross. Gross. Couple more things I wanted to get into. Lonzo, have you gotten an opportunity? And I will tell you, this is not something I went and looked for. It is something I just happened to stumble across over the weekend. Have you stumbled across fan-controlled football yet?
I have heard it, and I didn't look into it because the first thing I thought of was EC3's fan-controlled wrestling, and I figured that it was similar to that.
I stumbled upon it for the first time this weekend. And I've got to tell you, I might be watching it. It is the most video game thing I've ever seen in my life. All right? It is arena-esque football in that there is an out-of-bounds line, but the OB line is like a yard before there's a wall. So if you get popped out of bounds, you're hitting the wall hard. The field they play in is a 50-yard field the offense drives in, okay? 50 yards, offense starts on one end, you got to drive in, turnover resets the field. And it is played inside of, like, genuinely it looks like a I don't know, like a movie studio, right? It's on the outside line going up are walls. And the fans that are controlling the game, which, by the way, they're the ones calling plays for these teams, right? There's like no head coach. It's like the fans are balconies like you'd see over Bourbon Street, and the balconies look out over the field. So the fans are literally looking, like sitting down, looking down onto the field with fans in the end zone and like regular bleachers. The two teams just kind of stand in the background while the offense and defense are playing. I watched it for the first time because I saw the names. So we got to think Marion Barber was in there, and somebody from Auburn was in there as well. And I'm like, what are these guys doing? Are they playing? And then I looked, and it's like, no, they're actually in on the controls. Like they're in helping call the plays or whatever. I'm gonna send you, Zoe, a YouTube clip of a game. All right, it's just a game, and I want you to scroll like a couple minutes in and just take a look at what it looks like, because it looks like a video game, man. Like it's lights, it's smoke, it's fog, it's fast football because it's 7-on-7 football, right? So it's 3 down linemen, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, or 3 receivers and running back and a quarterback. It's 7-on-7 football, both sides. The logos all look like they were designed in a video game create a team setup. there's like extra logos and weird names and everything. And then between plays after touchdowns and whatnot, there's like lights and sirens and smoke. And it looks like not even NFL Blitz. It like looks more video gamey than NFL Blitz did.
Yeah, and I like how before the play is called, the screen goes to what a video game play would look like, and it shows who called the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Like, oh, and by the way, half the camera shots are from a drone flying over the field, right? Like now there have been other sports that have started to utilize drones as cameras, and I think it's great. Eventually one's going to crash and interrupt the sport, which is also going to be great.
Or someone's going to hack it.
Yeah. But the hits are hefty. By the way, Lonzo, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. What? Tell me this. Tell me if you didn't see more hits like this in the NFL. Watch this. Bang! Right? Like, these boys are coming to play football, son.
The one difference, the major difference is, other than there being less players out there, is the size of the players.
Oh, sure. Listen, like a lot. I mean, there are some big fellas out there, but I mean, these are guys that probably aren't going to make the league. But I'm not watching this to watch great football, right? I'm watching this to be entertained. And I got to tell you, it's entertaining as hell.
You're watching this as a guy who
likes video games,
designs his own plays when he's playing Madden or something, and goes, "Man, I could call plays.
Yeah,
I could be the offensive coordinator, and now here's your chance to do it."
Yeah. Oh, this is. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. And by the way, the boys that are out here, these are guys with dreams of taking it to the next level. You will get really, really good football. You will get hard football out of these guys, right? These guys are going to be playing their asses off. Whether they're good or not, I don't know. But they're going to play their asses off because this might be their shot. This might be it for them.
This looks like something you would see in a futuristic movie as far as how the football is.
Oh,
so
yeah.
far, it's usually robots, but this looks the same thing. The way the outside is set up and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like some illegal thing going on.
It's like underground football, dude. It's great. I watched it for the first time this weekend, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am curious for some of you guys. You can go to YouTube and watch. They put the games on YouTube. Fan Control Football has 9.3 thousand subscribers to its YouTube channel. You can go watch full games and genuinely, I want you to watch it and tell me you're not I'm not saying it's incredible football. I'm saying you're entertained by it.
Wait. They've got a hot mic booth.
Yes.
So guy just scored a touchdown, went into the hot mic booth. Obviously, I can't hear what he said, but, you know.
You will be able to when we get off the air and you turn it on. And these boys talk smack. By the way, you know who has played in this league so far this year? Johnny Manziel has played quarterback in this league. Terrell Owens has showed up. Tell me you don't want to see T.O. at 45, 47 years old, whatever he is, go out there and run plays. I do.
All right, so the play I just watched was basically a 50-yard touchdown.
There's big plays.
End zone to end zone, yeah.
These boys play, man. They come out to play. I got to tell you, like I said, I have not watched any of it. I stumbled upon it this weekend. Oh, and by the way, you want to know my favorite part, Zoe? Here's my favorite part. After touchdowns, there's no PATs. It is running back versus linebacker or wide receiver versus defensive back. If you score, it's your PAT. If you don't, 6 points for the touchdown. That's it.
Looks like a little holding going on there. But,
100%.
you know. So
it's fun.
What are the rules as far as holding and as far as penalties and stuff goes? As I'm watching now and scanning through, I haven't seen any penalties thrown. So
by the way, all the players go by like video game names, right? Your leading touchdowns is TTV King Apollo. Ruthless Cutie has 9 touchdowns. Kevin and H, Zendog, and Boomer's Racing Stable all have 7 touchdowns. They all go by. It's a video game, bro. It's video game football with real life. I love it.
Boomer's Racing Stable.
I love it.
It's a good name.
7th leading in touchdowns in the Fan Control Football League is Bless. V371CZW has 4 touchdowns on the year.
What's the pay for something like this?
I mean, I almost half assume these guys are volunteering to do it, to be real with you.
Oh, no, they're getting paid. They got to be getting paid.
Oh, they're getting paid, but I'm sure it's like, you know, $1,000 a
I
game.
was gonna say, in comparison to the NFL, it probably
it
is
ain't
like
nothing.
yeah.
But again, I would be interested to see you guys go to YouTube, just pick a game randomly and watch it and tell me what you think. You get a lot of points scored. It's 7-on-7, so it's wide open offense. And there's some unique rules. I like it. But I'm also the guy that watched USL this weekend because my Breakers aren't bad. Yes, lifelong fan of the New Orleans Breakers over here. Birmingham Stallions leading the league. They have been great. And then last weekend, Lonzo, I don't know if you saw this. I told you the XFL was going to get a massive boost by having Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? I think, okay, Lonzo said it to me. We agree on the fact.
No, I sent it to you. When I sent it to you on
that's
Twitter.
right. You did. It was you that sent it to me.
That was me.
So Lonzo pointed out to me and said, Rob, if you didn't catch this yet, which I didn't, but we both said that having The Rock as their face was going to be a big boost for the XFL. The XFL last weekend, Lonzo, you know this because you sent it to me on Twitter, signed kind of a big contract. Hey, Zoe, where will the XFL be airing their football games next season when they start up?
Disney-related places.
The biggest stick of all the sticks. ESPN and ABC. ESPN and ABC.
There was even some Disney Plus on there,
Yeah.
which that would be interesting.
Sure, why not? Why not? You hook me on ESPN. You show me it's a good league and hook me on ESPN. And then go, but we only got 2 games this week, but you can watch the 3rd and 4th on Disney Plus. I'm already paying for it. I'll watch, right? I already got it so I can watch Marvel and Star Wars. I might as well pop one more in there. But to have the biggest stick of all the sticks carrying you, that's a big deal. It's just too bad, Lonzo, that nobody likes wrestling and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wasn't able to get them a bigger deal based on his notoriety as a professional wrestler.
Oh, no. It's just because he's a movie star. The wrestling had nothing to do with it.
Gotcha. True, fair enough. I didn't think about it that way. Oh, well. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll be back here in just a minute to wrap it all up. Time for maybe one more story and then Twitter trending topics before we call it a day. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo, the Wizard of Wave, and you're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate.
I'm Jason Marks with your sports flash on the Fan Upstate. Major League Baseball, a late rally in the ninth comes up short for the Atlanta Braves as they fall 4-3 Sunday to the Miami Marlins. The Braves are at home the next 7 games as they begin a 4-game series tonight against Philadelphia. Tucker Davidson will take the mound tonight for Atlanta against Zach Wheeler. In college baseball, the Clemson Tigers head to Charlotte Tuesday to take on North Carolina in the ACC tournament. South Carolina heads west to Hoover, Alabama, where they'll face the Florida Gators in the SEC tournament. In college softball, the Clemson Lady Tigers move on to the Super Regionals after an 8-0 win Sunday over Louisiana. The Tigers now move on to the Super Regionals in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. In the South Atlantic League, the Greenville Drive fall 8-5 at home Sunday to the Hickory Crawdads. Greenville hits the road this week for a series with the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. Download the Odyssey app and search for the Fan Upstate. Then listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Jason Marks, and that's your sports flash on the Fan Upstate.
Paid for by Chicken Analytics. The man who predicted the 2020 crash warns of a huge event in 2022. Mark Chaikin, and his newest prediction has gone viral with 1.5 million. 50 years on Wall Street, a
They bring out the ringer. He takes his shot. He sits back down.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur with words from another happy payroll customer.
So it's very easy to use. The login and the setup was extremely easy. I didn't have to call anyone for help. I was able to do it on my own. And I love the fact that I can run my payroll and print my pay stubs, and then you guys do all of the filing for me. So I get a quarterly report that everything's been filed on my behalf, and then at the end of the year I can print out my W-2s. So I use you guys. I tell everybody, it's the easiest thing I've ever done. Why anybody doesn't use y'all, I don't know.
Visit us at patriotsoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
This feature is sponsored by NHTSA. Leaving a child in a hot car can lead to their death very quickly. In 2021, 23 children died in hot cars due to heat stroke. Many of these incidents occurred when parents or caregivers simply forgot the child was in the car. Please set reminders on your cell phone or place something you'll need in the back.
I'm not shocked, Keegan, but does he play well? That's the question. Dude has always been in shape.
Bro,
So.
he has gotten some jump balls. Like, gone up and skied. Hey, Lonzo, have you played any more cornhole? I'm going to guess no.
No, just a one time.
It was a great start to Lonzo's cornhole career. Scared the hell out of me.
I just don't go to places where it's all right. I just don't go to places. All right, so yeah. So I am seriously, even though I've said I'm seriously considering getting one for the
Noted
backyard.
definite man, Charles Barkley said, "You want people to respond to whatever you say. So whether you boo me or cheer me, as long as they respond, I'm like Roman Reigns. As long as they acknowledge me, I'm doing my job."
Wait.
Real man Charles Barkley, not wrestling fan.
Wait, he mentioned wrestling.
And not just like I happen to know this guy, but dropped his catchphrase on his own show. Also, Seth Rollins' jacket, but if we win that trophy, do I just say acknowledge me to the crowd? Here's the problem.
We
All
don't-
the
we don't
wrestling
get to speak.
catchphrases
Yeah.
I want to do make me look like an a-hole in front of a
Yeah.
room full of people. Why do I want to do all the bad guy catchphrases?
Columbia, South Carolina,
Acknowledge me. I will drop that voice on him too.
We can still do this,
Yeah.
which has more than one meaning in that case. But you know,
That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
All right, wrapping up the show. The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. I am Rob. He is Lonzo. All right, so we have like 45 seconds till Twitter trending topics. Did you watch enough of fan-controlled football videos, though, to get you intrigued to try it? Just to try it?
sure. I have no idea when it comes on, but yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either, but I'm going to look it up because now I'm curious. As Keegan said, I can't believe Terrell Owens plays. Me either, so I'm going to go find it. I got to see
But
it.
see, I can believe that he plays because that dude just wants to play, and the league won't let him back in. So why not go somewhere else? Is he really proven anything though? Playing against the caliber of, I mean, I don't know the caliber of athlete. They look like they're hitting pretty hard and moving pretty quick, but you know.
I would not volunteer to go play.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
All right, time for Twitter trending topics where I tell Rob what is trending on the internet. The first thing that is trending is Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible trending. I got nothing.
All right, so this just happened just a little bit ago. They have just put out the Mission Impossible trailer for next year.
For next year.
Yes, and I'm going to go ahead and spoil this because we know that Tom Cruise does his own stunts.
Yep.
He drives a motorcycle off the side of a hill, and I don't know if it's really him or not. It's right at the end of the trailer, but seeing as how he normally does things, it's probably him.
All right. Let me say this about Tom Cruise. Besides the fact that he is an absolute weirdo, all right? And I say that with all due respect. He's a weirdo.
He's a short weirdo.
Yeah, respect. I'm not even going to bang on him for being short. He's just a weirdo, all right? Doing all your own stunts. Respectable. I respect it, right? But can we stop pretending like Tom Cruise is taking his own life into his hands every time he does anything? I promise you.
Have you seen him on the outside of a plane?
Yes. Have you seen how many different gears and harnesses are
Doesn't
attached
matter.
to him to do it?
It doesn't
all right?
matter. When you reach a certain level of stardom, you don't go out. You still don't do that.
I understand that. I agree with that. If I was making Tom Cruise money, I promise you, I would. There are still some things I'd want to do, right? Like if I'm making a new age Days of Thunder, you damn well better believe I'm driving my own NASCAR stock car, right? But can we stop pretending like Tom Cruise is taking his life in his hands? Because here's the thing. When you reach that level of stardom and you're doing your stunts, whatever protections they put into place for a regular stuntman, they are putting 5 times that many protections into protecting you from hurting yourself, right? Tom Cruise does the least dangerous stunts in Hollywood because he's Tom Cruise. Like, okay, I get it. It's really windy on the outside of a C-130, and maybe like a bird hits you. But like, let's not pretend like if Tom lost his grip on the side of that plane, Tom Cruise was dead. He wasn't. There were 90-11 harnesses on the side of that plane to keep
And
him
harnesses
strapped on.
fail. They do that.
Yeah, and there were 9 of them.
All right. The next thing that's trending is Doctor Strange 2.
Like Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2? Yeah, that would be the correct one. You just saw it, dummy. So we're not in. What's this Thursday is my spoiler-free range. Oh, it's a money thing. Third most profitable Marvel movie inside of 2 weeks.
It is now the highest grossing film of the year. It just surpassed Batman at the box office.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
It's made $800 million worldwide.
I'm not surprised. The last Batman, I do not think was going to resonate with people who weren't comic book Batman fans. And on top of that, enough people complained about it because it wasn't like Batman, punch, 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 punch. It was old school Batman. Marvel's got years of build towards Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so that makes sense to me. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Uh-oh, Tyler Hero out tonight for the Heat. Celtics win. We're going to 2-2. Warriors finish the sweep tomorrow. We'll break it all down on tomorrow's edition of the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate. Later, brother.
Can't do that, Tayshawn, because Hulk is the strongest there is. Or at least that's what he says.
Oh, yes, that is 100% correct. 100% correct. Most powerful.
Powerful,
not
yes.
strongest, most powerful. And there is a difference.
There is.
But yeah, she is easily the most powerful Marvel character. 100%. 100%.
Wow.
And the fact that
Wow, Trey.
the fact that she created an entire landscape that Doctor Strange could not detect until she slipped up and made a mistake. And actually, even after she made a mistake, he still didn't detect it. She revealed it to him. Like, she's infinitely more powerful than Doctor Strange, so who else? Dang, and then Trey's just like, let me just go ahead and ruin your good vibes on the way out the door. Thanks, Trey. Speaking of the Owen Hart tournament, I have enjoyed it so far. Couple of surprises in there.
Yeah, no idea who's going to win it.
Couple of surprises in there.
I like not knowing who's going to win.
So do I.
I
So do
kind of have an idea, but,
I honestly don't. I honestly don't. All right, kids, we're back tomorrow. See you.